Ama naming bukal at tagapagtaguyod ng karunungan, dakilang pinagmulan ng lahat at siyang tamang daan. Naway tanggapin ang aming pasasalamat sa iyong mga biyaya at buong pusong paghingi ng kapatawaran sa aming mga nagawang pagkakasala sa iyo at sa aming kapwa. Gabayan ninyo po kami sa aming gawain sa araw-araw. Bigyang lakas at husay sa pagharap sa bawat pagsubok ng buhay, habang nananatiling nagpupunyagi at nagsusumikap. At para sa ikararangal ng aming paaralan at ng bansang Pilipinas. Amen.
Hello kids! Welcome to our science activity. Handa na ba kayo para sa ating panibagong lesson para sa araw na to? Magaling! My name is Teacher Noe B. Borja. In the last topic, we learned about the major organs of the human body and how they work together. So, in that topic, if we do not taking good care of our body, our organs like it may have, and therefore, we should eat a balanced diet and have a regular exercises to keep our body healthy. So, a quick review, can you identify in this picture, show a proper care of our body and write it in your paper. Now that we know that our body is composed of different organs that work together to help us to do our daily activities, we can now forward to our next science lesson, which is entitled Body Structures of Animals and Adaptations and Survival. There are different animals around us. They live everywhere. Some animals live on land. Some animals live in water. Take a look in this picture. Can you identify which animal's body parts belong? And take a pause in this video and answer it in your paper. Before we're going to our lessons for today, let us discuss the different terminologies that we need to understand the science concept. Number 1 is habitat. Habitat is a place where an organism make its home. A habitat meets all the environmental conditions an organisms need to survive. In Tagalog, ang habitat ay isang lugar kung saan naninirahan ang isang organismo. Ang habitat din ay tumutugon sa lahat ng mga pangangailangan ng isang organismo upang siya ay mabuhay. Number 2, adaptations. When we say adaptation, it is a process of developing structures or organs of an animal in order them to survive. It is an evolutionary process that an organism to this environment. In Tagalog, ang adaptations ay ang pag-aangkop ng isang organismo sa kanyang kapaligiran sa pamamagitan ng pagkakabuo ng iba't ibang parte ng kanyang katawan upang siya ay mabuhay at maging angkop ang kanyang katawan sa habitat na kanyang kinabibilangan. 3 is terrestrial animals. These are the animals that live on land. Or in Tagalog, ang terrestrial animals ay ang mga hayop na naninirahan sa lupa. So these are the examples of terrestrial animals. Next is aquatic animals. When we say aquatic animals, are those animals that live in water. These are the example of aquatic animals. Animals have body structures that enable them to live on land and in water. For example, ang mga animals na naninirahan sa tubig ay may mga parte ng kanilang katawan na tumutulong sa kanila upang sila ay mabuhay sa ilalim ng tubig, gaya ng scale, gill, shells, and exoskeleton or outside skeleton. When we say scale, are used for protections against diseases and help fishes swim underwater. Kaya naman karamihan sa mga isda ay may mga kaliskis. Lobster and shrimp has exoskeleton or outside skeleton, while mussels and oysters have shells that use for body protection. So upang sila ay makahinga sa ilalim ng tubig, ay mayroon silang tinatawag nating gills or hasang. Through the years, all animals that live in water are able to adapt as they evolve. This is called adaptation. On the other hand, terrestrial animals have body structures that help them to adapt on land. Ang mga structures na ito ay ginagamit nila for protections, movement, and food consumption. Some animals like dogs, cats, and monkeys have fur in their body to keep them warm. Others like birds has feathers which they use for flying. Some animals like worm have smooth skin that they use for breathing. In general, body covering are used for protection. Mayroon ding ibang parte ng mga animals na ginagamit sa paggalaw or movement. Some animals have legs which they use for walking, running, or swimming, while some animals have wings which they use for flying. Animals on land have lungs for breathing. So for food consumption, some animals have paws, claws, and flat teeth, which they use to get food. Others have sucking tubes, sticky tongue, and movable jaws. Ang mga hayop nito ay mga magkakaparehong mouthparts ay kadalasang magkakahalintulad ang pagkain na kanilang kinakain. That is why animals group according to the food they eat. These are carnivores, herbivores, omnivores, and the detritivores. Those animals with flat teeth like cow, goat, and carabao feed on grass. They are called herbivores because they eat plants. And those animals with sharp and pointed teeth like lion and tigers feed on meat and other animals. They are called carnivores. Those animals which feed on both meat and plants are called omnivores. Example of these animals are bears and birds. Those animals like earthworms and millipedes which fed on dead or decaying organisms are called detritivores. Now, let us try to answer in this activity. Study the pictures of animals that live on land and in water. Take a look at their body structures and enable them to adapt on land or in water. Complete the table on your notebook. Sa unang column, isusulat lamang ang pangalan ng animal sa bawat bilang. Sa ikalawang column naman ay ang body structures na ginagamit nito for adaptation. At sa pangatlong column naman ay tutukuyin mo kung saan habitat ito nabibilang. Isulat lamang ang L kung sa land at W naman kung ito ay sa water. Now, let us proceed to answering activity number 2. Study the body structures of animals in column A and match the structures that fit to the animals in column B. Write your answer in your notebook. Animals use body parts to eat. Complete the table below by filling in the correct answer. Do this in your notebook. Now let us answer our fourth activity. Study the pictures below and name at least 3 animals, their body parts, and uses of these body parts for their survival. Complete the table below in your notebook. Kinakailangan ng mga hayop na proteksyonan ang kanilang sarili sa panganib upang sila ay mabuhay. So they use different mechanisms and strategies to prolong their life in the wild, while strong competitions happen. So in our last activity, name the body parts of each animal that protects them from any harm in their habitat. Here are the key points of the lessons for today. Number 1, habitat is a place where an organisms make it home. Number 2, animals that live on land are called terrestrial animals, while animals that live in water are called aquatic animals. Number 3, animals have body structures that help them to adapt and survive in their environment. These structures are used for protections, movement, and food consumption. Number 4, the animals group according to the food they eat. These are carnivores, herbivore, omnivore, and detritivores. That's it, class. I hope you learned something new in this lesson for today. Goodbye.